What's up everyone, Adam here. Welcome to Investing with Adam. Today we are going over what not to do before buying a home. Let's start off here with a bit of a story or a bit of a background on why I decided to make this video. So sitting down a little while ago with a potential buyer, and they were just getting started. They were wanting to get into the process of buying a house, which great. That's what I want to see. The first thing I always suggest you do when even considering the possibility of buying a house, even if it's not for 6 months, go and speak to a real estate agent, go and speak to a mortgage broker, figure out your numbers, figure out what the market's doing, and then you can plan for either buying in a month or buying in a week or buying in a year. Either way, you're a lot more educated, a lot more informed, and you can make those decisions a lot easier. Anyway, back to the story. So I went to meet this person for coffee, sat down, waited for him to show up, and all of a sudden, a few minutes later, I see a brand new pickup truck pull in the parking lot, and out pops Mr. Buyer. Now, something you need to keep in mind is you only have so much credit when you're buying, and banks generally judge you the harshest on a mortgage. If you're over a certain point, then you no longer look good, or that really damages your ability to buy a house. So you could have bought a $400,000 home, and now with this pickup truck, you can now afford a $200,000 or a $100,000 home, which really, let's face it, is not a home if you buy it in Edmonton. So the moral of this little story here is the steps you should take, or the order in which you should buy things. So when you're looking to buy a house, do not do any major purchasing, do not take any massive trips that cause debts. Do not burn through any excess cash that you might have, that you might be able to put aside to look even better, because the more you can afford to put down, the more the bank will let you buy. Or the more credit you have, the less debt you have, the more the bank will allow you to buy. What I suggest is, even if you're going to go buy that vehicle, not a problem, just wait until not just the mortgage gets qualified, but the keys are in your hand. The reason that is I've seen it numerous times where a buyer gets qualified for a mortgage, they think everything's great, they go and put an offer on a house, it gets accepted, they remove conditions, and they are basically sold, just waiting on possession day. Over that duration, that sometimes can be 60 days, they decide it's a great idea to go and buy a new vehicle. And the bank, just before they decide to fund that mortgage on possession day, they do a final credit check to make sure nothing has changed. And now all of a sudden there is this $60,000 vehicle loan on there that's $800 a month, and you have now blown your debt service ratio all over the place, and you no longer qualify for that mortgage. The bank no longer agrees to fund the mortgage, and you now are in a heap of trouble because you have now conditionally or unconditionally bought a house that you can no longer afford. Not a great place to be. So, to summarize, the order in which you should utilize your credit when you're considering buying a house is mortgage first, keys, not just mortgage, but keys first. Then considering a vehicle, and I highly suggest against buying brand new, but that's entirely up to you. And then finally, any credit cards or lines of credit, smaller things that aren't secured to anything, and they're usually a lot easier to get. And the reason for this is the mortgage is the absolute hardest thing that you will ever have to qualify for. And then you'd be vehicle, and then you'd be credit cards, because usually if you have a pulse and you've reported some form of income at some point in your life, surprise, you get a credit card. That is my rant about credit and what you should not do just before you buy a house. Thanks for checking us out. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you know of anyone that's thinking about buying a house soon, please share this video with them so that they're a lot more educated when it comes to buying that home. Have an awesome day, and we will catch you on the next one.